What's up, everybody? It's GalmanX, and welcome back to another ranked draft of Core Set 2020. Let's just hop into the draft and see if we can get some sweet cards. Not a fantastic start to the draft, as our rare is not something you would really want to take. It counters an activated ability, triggered ability, or legendary spell. That is just quite a bit too narrow to really run in limited formats. But we can check out if we've got any good uncommons. We've got Tomebound Lich, 3 mana for a 1/3 Death Touch lifelink. When it enters the battlefield or does combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card, then discard a card. So this card's pretty good. The only downside is it is a multicolored card. It is a gold card, so to speak. These are not the kind of cards you really want to pick one. You don't want to tie yourself down too hard with your first couple picks, just because you kind of want to see what colors are really getting passed to you, try and move into those. So locking yourself into two colors immediately can be a little bit of a problem. There's also a Gruesome Scourger. This is just a fine uncommon. It isn't really fantastic. So there's nothing that's really pulling me towards it very hard in the higher rarities in this pack. So we'll just see if we have any pretty good commons, which we do have a few premium commons here. We've got Raise the Alarm, which is pretty good because there's a lot of cards that get a bit of a payoff from creating tokens, and not a lot of cards that actually create tokens well. This is one of the very few actually good token-producing cards. There's a Boreal Elemental, which is just a great threat. It's a 5 mana 3/4 with flying that's a little bit hard to target. They have to spend a little bit of additional mana to target it. And then there's a Cloudkin Seer, which is good as well because it's evasive. This is kind of a smaller little evasive creature, so it gets in for some early damage, not as much of a threat, but it lets you draw a card when you play it, so it's good value there. So I think these are probably our best commons, and we also have Octoprophet, which is fine. Sanitarium Skeleton is usually something you can take pretty late, but there are some decks that do get a good amount of value out of its ability. And then like Vorse Claw would be like a very late pick. Same with Scorch Spitter. These cards are both technically playable, but they're in very specific decks, and you can get both of them very late in the pack. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and probably just start off with a Boreal Elemental. I think this card is just very good, and it's also a card that isn't restrictive at all. It costs 1 blue on a 5 mana card, so it's easily splashable, because the ability to have a single mana of one specific color by turn 5 is like just something that's really easy to do. So I think I'm going to just start off with Boreal Elemental and try to stay a little bit open here, see what we get in the packs to come. Alright. Well, these are some great uncommons. We've got Bloodthirsty Aerialist, 3 mana for a 2/3 flyer, and whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. This is fantastic if you can draft a black-white deck. There are quite a few just random lifelink cards and stuff like that that can combo really well with it. There's also Soulmender, which is playable if you get a couple copies of Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Soulmender is a 1 mana 1/1 that you can tap it to gain 1 life. So it is very possible that you could get a deck with a few Bloodthirsty Aerialist and like 4 Soulmender, and then if you ever draw both of them, your opponent just has to have removal immediately, or the Bloodthirsty Aerialist will be massive. So, this card has very, very high potential, and even if you don't gain any life, it's a 3 mana 2/3 flyer, which is not bad. There's Yarok's Fenlurker, which is just fine. Definitely not as exciting as the Aerialist to me, but it's certainly a fine card. Ogre Siegebreaker seems fine, but it is a gold card, so a little bit less excited about that, especially since I have a blue card already, so now, then I would have blue, black, and red drafted so far. And in terms of commons, not a whole lot going on. Unsummon is fine. Lavakin Brawler can be very good, and Netcaster Spider is probably my favorite of these green commons, but Ferocious Pup sometimes can work well. Like if you're in green and black, Ferocious Pup is pretty nice with Bone Splinters, cards like that. So I think out of this pack, I'm just going to go ahead and take the Bloodthirsty Aerialist and see if we can get any kind of lifelink to combo with it. Even if you end up in literally just black as your only color that has life gain cards, there is a decent amount of just random like 2 mana 2/2 lifelink and a 4-mana card that does like 3 damage to something and you gain 3 life. Like, there's a little bit of life gain in just black, so you don't even have to be black-white necessarily. It's just best in that color scheme. Alright, so here we've got quite a few cards. There's a Bone Splinters, which I'm not super excited about in black-blue, because we're not really the color scheme that I expect to have a lot of creatures that we could just like sacrifice all the time. But there is a Sleep Paralysis, which is removal, so that might just be the pick, definitely the safest pick. And there's some good cards in some other colors. Woodland Champion is one of the token payoff cards. If you get a bunch of token producers, this card can be pretty brutal. And just some random stuff like Thicket Crasher, find an elemental deck. And Battalion Foot Soldier is definitely good if you can get a bunch of copies of it. I think I'm just going to take the Sleep Paralysis here. Stick to a bit of a safer strategy today. Alright. We have Pacifism in white here. Pacifism is a pretty high pick, but I do think... I think I want to just stay to blue here, because Frostlinks is a very, very good card. And I'm totally happy to have it in my deck, and if I take this Frostlinks, I can be pretty confident I'm playing blue, whereas if I take Pacifism, then I'm kind of just fighting over what my second color is going to be, not really sure either way. So I think I'm just going to take Frostlinks for now, because that is a card I will definitely play. Even though Pacifism is quite good, I don't know for sure if I want to move into white for it. And this pack does not really have anything for us. Soul Salvage is okay, but you can usually get those really late, and you only want like 1 or 2 in your deck. And then these blue cards just suck. Like Fortress Crab, if you're in a very, very specific, very defensive strategy, Fortress Crab could potentially be okay. And then Zephyr Charge is just bad, because blue is already the color with the most flyers. Like, most of the creatures that you actually want to play in blue already have flying anyway, like Boreal Elemental and Cloudkin, so Zephyr Charge being in blue is just really weird. But I have been killed by it before in like blue-green with a green deck that just has a bunch of big monsters, and then using Zephyr Charge to give the giant monsters flying. But I do not think this is a Zephyr Charge deck. We already have 2 cards that just naturally have flying. So, the cards that are definitely in our colors are just not exciting. I think the most exciting stuff in this pack is actually just like Leafkin Druid and maybe Might of the Masses are my favorite 2 cards here. But those are both off color. And then the white cards are just whatever. Soulmender, obviously, cool combo with the Bloodthirsty Aerialist. I think it's pretty unlikely we end up in black-white though, because I'm pretty sure I'll be in blue. And I don't want to play 3 colors just to enable my Bloodthirsty Aerialist. And the only time that I would play Soulmender is specifically if I had Bloodthirsty Aerialist in the deck as well, or other life gain payoffs. I don't think is that likely. We could just take like a Vial of Dragonfire in case we get like a Renowned Weaponsmith later. That'd be the safest pick, because no matter what our deck ends up being, we can play it, but it's not very exciting. Might just be Leafkin Druid here, because I like that card quite a bit, and I do like blue-green decks, so like maybe we'll end up moving away from the Bloodthirsty Aerialist here and move into green-blue, because there are like 3 okay green cards at least in this pack. So maybe green's a little open. I don't know, we'll see. Picking up that Leafkin Druid there. And it does look like green might be a little bit open. There is an Overcome here, which is pretty good. However, again, as we are blue, I don't know how many creatures we're going to have, and this is a card that really wants you to have a lot of creatures to be that strong. Mammoth Spider's definitely a pretty nice blocker. Fathomfleet Cutthroat is nice if you have early game creatures that you can just send in there. This will let them trade up into a larger blocker. So, a few good picks here. Goblin Smuggler is probably the best card, or my favorite card in this pack. But I don't think we're a Goblin Smuggler deck today. Let's see. Fathomfleet Cutthroat stays in black. Or Overcome is risky because we're not super likely to have a bunch of early creatures. Or we just take like a Mammoth Spider, but then we're just chilling with like a stack of large mediocre creatures. Let's go ahead and roll with one of these cards. Alright, I'm gonna take the Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. See where that leads us. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm just gonna take the green card in this pack because blue cards aren't very exciting. Negate's not a card I'm super excited about, and neither is Anticipate, but they're both fine. And then Soul Salvage as well is another thing I can pick up really late, whereas the Spider, I do like the Spider quite a bit. Alright, pretty much all the cards in here are not very exciting for any color. So now we're just getting to the random picks. I guess I'll take a Feral Invocation. Alright, Vorst Claw is an actual pick we can make, or we can take Sanitarium Skeleton. Sanitarium Skeleton is a pretty good combo with Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. That's basically the perfect creature that you want to just swing in with early game all the time. Because then the attack doesn't look suspicious at all, and you might actually get value out of your Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. So, Sanitarium Skeleton, actually a little bit interesting here. It does make Bone Splinters also a viable card to pick up later. So it's between Sanitarium Skeleton and Vorst Claw. The reasons to take Vorst Claw here would obviously be if we decide we want to try to be in green-blue, because we do have a Leafkin Druid to try to ramp into that 6-drop. So yeah, I mean, this is really a pick of like what kind of deck do we want to try to build here, because neither of these are insanely good, but they both serve a purpose in their decks. So I guess we do have one more green card than black card right now, so we could just go at it. Be green-blue here. That also gives us a pretty nice elemental theme if we happen to pick up anything that synergizes with elementals. If we pick up this Vorst Claw, then we have Boreal Elemental, Frost Lynx, Leafkin Druid, and Vorst Claw are all elementals. So that's all our creatures except for one. So that is a little bit worth considering. I am going to go ahead and take Vorst Claw there, and now we'll just take Ferocious Pup. And this pack's not exciting. I'll just take a Battalion, a Foot Soldier, and like Feral Abomination better than Blade Brand with our current black creatures. Neither of these are super exciting. I mean, I guess we can take the Zephyr Charge because green-blue would be the only color combination that it could be worth it, because we could just have a bunch of Vorst Claws we want to get flying. That could be nice. Wow! Get rewarded. We picked the correct second color. Oh my god. Alright, that is Gargos Vicious Watcher. It is a 6-mana, 8/7 with Vigilance, and whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell, Gargos fights up to one creature you don't control. So straight up, it's a 6-mana, 8/7 Vigilance at worst. That's ridiculous. And if they have the removal to get rid of it, like if they cast a Pacifism on it or something, that means that a creature you control has become the target of a spell, which means that it gets to fight a creature you don't control. So even if they have a removal spell to deal with it, you get to get value by having it kill something of theirs. Just a really nice card. It also combos fantastically with Feral Invocation, because we can cast Feral Invocation onto one of our creatures, and then one of our creatures has become the target of a spell, so Gargos gets to fight something, and so on and so on. Very, very nice card to open there. Alright, what do we have here? We have another Sleep Paralysis, which might just be the pick. We have Aether Gust, which is okay in the sideboard, but again, in Ranked Draft, you only play one game in a round, so I don't tend to main deck cards that are only good against specific colors, because what happens when I draw this and I'm playing against Black-White or something like that. And Steel Overseer is nice. It's a pretty slow card, but it's like a 2-mana card you just get to put out on the board and just sit there until you need a threat, and then however late the game gets is however big it's going to be. Like, this is potentially just a build-your-own monster. Play it on turn 2, and then all of a sudden on turn 7, you've got... what, like a 5/5? I don't know, I didn't do the math. I'm just going to take Sleep Paralysis here. Just pick up another removal spell, because that is something that we need to make sure that we get in this color scheme in blue-green. That is a color scheme that's pretty light on removal. We only have fight spells in green, and then just like Sleep Paralysis in blue. Alright, so Cloudkin Seer would be pretty nice. Pattern Marcher as well can be very nice, but we currently don't have any duplicates. It's pretty easy to make sure you pick up some, and I do like Pattern Marcher a lot, but I think Cloudkin Seer is also just guaranteed going to be a good, if not great card, so I'm just going to go ahead and take Cloudkin Seer here. There is an Agonizing Siphon, which is one of those cards I was talking about that combos very well with Bloodthirsty Aerialist, but I think we're going to stick with green. That is something that's probably going to happen here. Alright, here we have Metropolis Sprites, Ferocious Pup, and Loaming Shaman, and Convolute. We've got a whole gigantic stack of 3 mana cards right now, so I kind of just want to take Metropolis Sprite, just get a random little flyer in there. It's certainly not a bad card. We don't have anything that combos with the Ferocious Pup, so just by itself, without anything that cares about you having tokens, or cares about you having wolves, or anything like that, this card's just not that exciting, so I'm going to go ahead and take Metropolis Sprite. And it looks like a pretty empty pack for us here. We can take Plummet, or Marauder's Axe, or Manifold Key. Don't think this is the kind of deck that's going to need a main deck Plummet. I certainly have seen it before in ranked draft, like one main deck Plummet is fine if you really need that defense against flyers, but we've got Netcaster Spider, we've got flyers of our own, we've got Sleep Paralysis. Don't think we need a Plummet in here. We could take a Manifold Key, that could potentially be good with our random giant green fatties. Just spend 3 mana, make our 8/7 Vigilance unblockable. Yeah, I mean, it's not fantastic because it doesn't do anything in the early game, like you just play it and then it sits there waiting for a while, but I'm more interested in it than the rest of these cards here, so I'll take it for now. We'll see if we run it. And we're kind of getting cut here. Nothing good in blue or green. We've got a Befuddle and Healer of the Glade. Both are not very exciting. Probably not playing either of these. So I could maybe just like pick up an Ancestral Blade for my collection. I don't even know if I have 4 of, but I don't think I'm the kind of person that likes to play Befuddle, so I'm just going to toss this in the sideboard, excuse me. Alright, Gift of Paradise is potentially actually pretty good in this deck. We've got 2 nice, large monsters that we do want to ramp into, and Gift of Paradise helps us ramp. I think out of all these cards, that's definitely the pick, because it's that or Befuddle or Marauder's Axe again, so Gift of Paradise it shall be. Marauder's Axe is an okay card, but it's definitely better with a lot of early game creatures. I think in green-blue we want to pick up a little bit more late game just giant threats and focus more on that than suiting up a bunch of smaller creatures. So like Marauder's Axe is a lot more impressive on a 1/1 token. Turning that 1/1 token into a 3/1 that can trade up into larger creatures is nice, versus turning your 8/7 into a 10/7 is just like, alright man, it's already massive, like you're good. I'm going to take another Gift of... well, we could take Season of Growth and try to really go hard at the targeting our own creatures strategy with Gargos, but I haven't seen a whole lot of pump spells that I'm super interested in. But then again, we already have one gift. I don't know if we need another. I'm going to throw a Season of Growth in the sideboard and see if we can start spamming all these pump spells. So, Renowned Weaponsmith has a lot of potential. If you haven't seen a lot of drafts of this format, there is like this whole meme strategy that a bunch of people do that is just take every freaking Heart Piercer bow that you see to where people will have hands that's like 1 creature and 5 Heart Piercer Bow. Heart Piercer Bow being an equipment that whenever the equipped creature attacks, it deals 1 to target creature defending player controls. Because if you get enough Heart Piercer Bows onto a creature, you can literally just eviscerate your opponent's board every single attack, and they just can't block with anything ever. All their creatures just always die. So it is a strategy, and Renowned Weaponsmith is good value if you get multiple copies of either of those cards, because it's basically just a 2-mana 1/3 that whenever you've got the extra mana, you can just be like, alright, I'll draw a card with it. So this card can be very good. But there's a growth cycle, and I did just say I do want to try to go for the pump spell strat. Because I do have the Gargos, which is kind of just the rare for the pump spell strat. And I don't have anything that combos with the Renowned Weaponsmith yet, and I don't want to spend a bunch of picks just picking up a bunch of Heart Piercer Bows that aren't great without him. So I'm going to take Growth Cycle. See if we can go for the pump spells here. Here I'll pick up a Convolute, only card in our colors. Take a Prismite, not super excited about main decking a Natural End. Pick up a Convolute. Zephyr Charge, and the uncommon Goblin Boy and Angelic Gift. Let's see what our final rare is. Our rare can be bad if our uncommon is the green-blue uncommon. That would be fantastic. Unfortunately, neither of those things has happened. But we've got some okay picks here. So Sephara is not the... It's just not going to be the pick. We are not anywhere near white enough for this card. Like, we could maybe splash in the alternate cost, but I think even then we don't have that many flying creatures. We only have 3 right now, so it would be really difficult to cast, even for the alternate cost. So, the rare is just not going to happen with this pack. We do have Pulse of Murasa, though, which can be really good in the late game. It can just, like, pick up your Gargos that just died and gain 6 life, or just anything for some value. There's Warden of Evos Isle, which is definitely a nice combo with Boreal Elemental. Turn 3 Warden of Evos Isle into turn 4 Boreal Elemental is a very fun play if you've never done that before. There is a Sleep Paralysis. We can just pick up our 3rd Sleep Paralysis, have all our 4 mana cards just be some nice solid removal. Or there's a Brightwood Tracker, which Brightwood Tracker is fine to have 1 or 2 copies of, because it gives you a really nice mana sink for the late game. This can let you just start drawing cards when you're both top decking. So, kind of think I'm just going to go with Sleep Paralysis. I mean, I already have a bunch of 3 mana cards, and the only card that benefits off of me having Warden is Boreal Elemental. So if I take Warden, it's mainly just because I want a 3 mana 2/2 flyer, and I don't think I want a 3 mana 2/2 flyer that bad. So I'm just going to take a Sleep Paralysis here. Alright, Leyline of Abundance. We only have 1 card that taps for mana, or 1 creature that taps for mana, that is Leafkin Druid. So I don't think this is going to make the cut. We could take it just to take a rare here, if there's nothing that we're insanely excited about. Which there isn't really. We can take an Octoprophet or a Feral Invocation, and both of those are fine. Octoprophet fills in that 4 mana slot, lets us scry, try to get towards our bombs, and Feral Invocation is nice because it is both a combat trick that could potentially save one of our creatures, and it's a spell that targets our creatures for Season of Growth or Gargos. So, might just take Feral Invocation here. I think I will. I'll just take the Feral Invocation and stick to the theme. Once again, not a lot in green and blue. I think I'm going to go ahead and get the Manifold Key out of here for now. Yeah, I guess it's just Ferocious Pup out of all that stuff. Evolving Wilds to help fix our mana, or a Greenwood Sentinel. I like Greenwood Sentinel a decent amount in this deck just because we have double Feral Invocation. Greenwood Sentinel is just great with any kind of auras you can toss onto it, since it already has Vigilance, so being a 4/4 with Vigilance is actually quite a bit more exciting than just being a 4/4 straight up. So Greenwood Sentinel is a pretty nice pickup. I'm going to go ahead and roll with that. There's a Fairy Miscreant. A little late to start picking up Fairy Miscreants, so I'm not going to take that here because I think it's highly, highly, highly unlikely I get enough Fairy Miscreants that I'm excited about playing it. We could just take the Colossus Hammer because it's funny, or Anticipate to help our draws, or just like a Netcaster Spider. None of these I'm super excited about, especially because we already have so much stuff at 2 and 3 mana, so I'll just take a Spider and be on with it. Man, we're really getting... We're getting cut, or these packs just don't have a lot of cards in our colors here. Could take another Greenwood Sentinel or another Metropolis Sprite. So Metropolis Sprite is going to be the pick here, and the reason is it's actually even better with Feral Invocation than Greenwood Sentinel is, because normally you can only pump Metropolis Sprite once, but if you buff its toughness with a card like Feral Invocation, you can buff it as many times as you have the toughness to do so. So if you throw a Feral Invocation onto this, it's like you're giving it more than +2/+2, because you're giving it +2 power, and you're giving it the ability to pump up its power 2 more times after that, more than it would usually. I don't know if that made any sense, but basically, if you throw a Feral Invocation on this, it is now a 3/4 flying, which you can pump up into a 6/1 flying if you have the mana. Right. Not excited about any of this. We'll take a Befuddle, because I've been passing up on all the Befuddles before, so, you know, I feel a little bad. Take a Prismite. Take this random card. This random card. We might end up running Manifold Keys just because we only have 21 cards in the deck currently. So, that might be something that actually happens here. Sacrifice it and choose a permanent put into your graveyard from the battlefield this turn and return it to your hand. Bit of a weird card, but it could be okay. None of these are all that exciting. I guess Anvil Rut Raptor is actually kind of fine when you have Feral Invocations. I don't know, I've got a gigantic stack of 3 mana stuff. Maybe I just take the 4 mana card here. Alright, let's go ahead and finish this up. Definitely need to toss in a couple more cards from the sideboard back into the deck. Looks like just one more card to hit the 17 land count. So, we've got Hardcover, Zephyr Charge, Befuddle, Convolute, Prismite, and Manifold Key are our options. I think out of all those options, I honestly think I'll just toss in like a 1 of Manifold Key. It might come in handy. She'll see. Alright, this is the deck I'm going to run with. Didn't really end as good as I'd hoped for, but it looks fine at the very least. I'm going to go ahead and turn my card styles off. I like to have my deck all uniform. Oops. And let's pick our lands. Looks like I already picked some pretty nice lands here. I don't believe I have the Full Art Island yet, because that event hasn't started yet. Yeah, I don't have the Full Art Island, but I do have the Full Art Forest. But again, I like to have all my lands, all my cards be uniform. I don't want one of my lands to be Full Art and the other to be regular, so these lands are fine. Anyways, let's hop into the games. And it honestly doesn't matter to me at all how well I do. Well, it matters to me a little bit, just in terms of, like, I'm going to try to play my best. But if you saw my gym count, I am, like, literally 30 gyms away from picking up the mastery tree, or whatever. And I am, like, level 50-something. So I think it's pretty worth it to me at this point. Just spend those gems and pick up a bunch of packs and stuff. And I'll just hoard the rest of my gems that I get from this point forward for Throne of Eldraine in the future. So, looks like so far all we know is that we're playing against red. They do start off with a Mask of Immolation, which is pretty good against our Cloudkin Seer. Allows them to sacrifice the creature it's attached to do 1 damage to any target. So, that pretty much means I am not casting a 1 toughness creature just yet. And I could play Ferocious Pup. I don't really care if I lose the 0/1. But I'd rather just play the highest toughness creature right now. Make sure all my stuff can survive that mask. Here comes a Retributive Wand. Alright. That certainly is a deck strategy. So now they've got 2 different things that do 1 damage to any target. This one costs 3 mana to do, though. And we just attack with everybody, play another Netcaster Spider. Like, now I really need to just play my high toughness cards. Because it seems that my opponent has a plan. Here comes the 50,000 Heart Piercer bows. Just do all of the piddly little damage until it stacks up to 1,000,000. Let's see what they got here. Oh, they're just gonna kill my sprite? Well, that's not cool. Alright, shooting the sprite for 1 with the Retributive Wand, and 1 more by sacrificing their token for that Mask of Immolation. At least the board is clear for now. Get in there for 4 damage. Gonna go ahead and play out a 2 toughness creature here. Gonna play Ferocious Pup. This definitely seems like not the matchup for Cloudkin Seer, that is for sure. Ooh, this is very bad for us. They now have 3 1/1s they can start throwing the mask onto for additional damage. Yeah, that is quite bad. Alright, we've got no pump spells right now, so combat isn't super good for us, but I think we still have to just keep the pressure on. Because, like, the worst they can do is triple block a Netcaster Spider. And then they're still taking 4, and then they only have 1 creature left, so we can sacrifice our Netcaster Spider for the greater good. Alright, and I'll just play Greenwood Sentinel here. Again, just playing the highest toughness creature. Don't really want to play a Gift of Paradise. The only thing I'm ramping into in this hand is a Sleep Paralysis, which does not seem necessary right now. Especially since if I just top deck a land at any point, I can already just cast it. Like so. And that's actually the best play I have right now, so I'm just going to do it. Because these cards do nothing, and Cloudkin Seer just dies. So we'll tap down Fire Elemental and just keep getting in there. They're down to 8. Going down to 4 this turn, even if they chump. Looks like no chumps, going down to 2. Bold plays. Looks like they may have a lot of creatures this turn, because they're going to need them to survive the next attack. Alright, we do have the Feral Invocation, which is a pretty nice draw. Which makes me a little more confident that there's nothing they can do to survive this turn, but we'll see. I don't know for sure. I think they're dead. I guess if they have a shock, that would be the only way that they could think that they'll survive this, because they can shoot Greenwood Sentinel for 1, and then sacrifice the dude and shoot it for another 1, and then shock the wolf. But if they do that, I can just Feral Invocation the wolf. So that was a pretty good draw. That does save us from the only potential way they survive this turn. It looks like, unfortunately for our opponents, they do not survive the turn. Luckily, we did have enough high toughness creatures to get over that wand and that Mask of Immolation. Alright. I have moved into the gold tier for limited for the first time in a long time. Because I am a bad. So, that is 1 win down. I think that already just guarantees us however many gems I needed. I think you don't even need to win 1 to get like 30 gems. But I will absolutely take it. It also helps me get more of that weekly experience. Level up some more on that mastery tree. So I'm very interested to see what the Throne of Eldraine Mastery tree looks like. I really hope. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Obviously, I don't have any insider information, but I really hope that the idea with each of the mastery trees is basically like that it gives you like a bunch of packs as you're leveling up, and they've got the whole tree with the orbs to get your card styles. Basically, I hope it's the same thing as the M21, except that the idea is that it's a different pet each time. That's the big difference. I want like a little fairy or something weird from Throne of Eldraine for like a pet. Because the little elemental cat, it's cute, but it's not that interesting to me. I don't know, we'll see. I think Throne of Eldraine has the potential to have some very, very nice artwork. So here's Renowned Weaponsmith plus Heart Piercer Bow, which I was talking about. That is something that I think is overdrafted at this point on Arena, to where it's a little bit irritating. Like, I feel like literally 50% of my games are just against a million Heart Piercer Bows. I don't know if it's that good. So, actually maybe Gift of Paradise isn't the play here. Like, it's definitely not Anvil Rot Raptor is the problem, because if I play this, it just dies to the bow. I mean, I guess I could just play a 2-2. But a 2-2 doesn't even really do anything either, because if I play a 2-2, they just throw the bow onto the skeleton, and they attack and I can't block it. And then the 2-2 just gets blocked by the Weaponsmith. Yeah, it's just not a great spot, because the bow is a threat. Let's drop down the Season of Growth. Alright, what do you got? Looks like they've got another card to pick up with the Weaponsmith. It is a second Heart Piercer Bow. We might just be out of this game. That's only 2 bows, that's 2 damage a turn. Which is bad, but we're probably just gonna keep getting more and more bows, but like Sleep Paralysising a Renowned Weaponsmith feels so bad, especially after they already have 2 bows. Perhaps that is the play. They already have 2 bows. If I play Frostlings, it just dies. All of my creatures just die. So yeah, as I said before, like, Heart Piercer Bows is a powerful strategy. I just feel like I play against it literally like 50% of the time, and that doesn't seem like the correct percentage of the time for this to be happening. But I guess that's also just part of just drafting against bots, because if I was playing against a bunch of people who drafted against other people, and everybody tried to do the Heart Piercer Bow strategy, no one would ever get enough Heart Piercer Bows. Everyone would have like 2. But if everyone's drafting against their own draft queue of bots, and they happen to not be taking the Heart Piercer Bows, then everybody could have like 1,000 Heart Piercer Bows, potentially. God, yeah, I mean, I need to play this Vorse Claw, but I don't have the mana. I need 1 more mana for this Vorse Claw. I mean, I guess I have nothing that's gonna, like, slow down these Heart Piercer Bows. Or nothing that's gonna get rid of these Heart Piercer Bows. So there's no point in just sandbagging my Frostlings and my Ferocious Pup and stuff like that, because they're going to be useless at any point in the game, so might as well get them out now. Another Heart Piercer Bow. Yeah, I was starting to think to myself, like, maybe I should have kept in, like, a Natural End or something main deck, but if they have 3 Heart Piercer Bows at this point, I don't think it really matters. Because even if I could shoot 1, they're still accomplishing the goal with 2 of them. This is just real bad right now. Well, they got a pump spell? Blade Brand. Alright. Well, that's tremendously awful. That is tremendously awful. Yeah, I probably should have just let the 1 damage through, because, like, what is 1 damage to me when I'm at 20 life? Yikes. And there's the land to cast the Boar's Claw had I not blocked there. We just keep that land on top so we can Vorse Claw. I guess it might have actually worked out, because now the Blade Brand isn't in there for when I have Vorse Claw. So, if they don't have like a murder or something, then maybe Vorse Claw can stop all this shenanigans by just being a chunky blocker. So again, I just played the Ferocious Pup just to get the scries, because there's no reason not to play it. It will never not die. Drawn from Dreams. Alright, opponent gets to sift through the top 7, try to find some bombs. Here's some removal, whatever they got. Blood Burglar it is. Alright, we'll see if they've got removal. If they've got it, this game is 100% over. Sleep Paralysis doesn't do anything, because all of their creatures are just tiny dorks that don't matter. The problem is the bows that can go onto anything. Yep, this is definitely removal. Bone Splinters it is. Boneclad Necromancer. Opponent has many creatures. I think I'm on a 2-turn clock. 5, and then 10? Not quite. Not quite. I'll be at 2 life after their next attack. Ooh! Ooh! I don't think that solves anything, but it's cool. I think I still just die if they just all attack each turn. They'll get through eventually. Yep. Yep, they'll just lethal me next turn. Dude, imagine how crazy Gargos would be if it worked off of abilities targeting him as well. That would be fantastic. Because then I just fight their whole team off of the Heartpiercer bow triggers. Alright, Boreal Elemental it is. Hello. Renowned Weaponsmith it is. Alright. I mean, I can fight something. It's like, what happens if I fight something? I play Feral Invocation on Gargos, I fight Boreal Elemental, and I block one of those, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm still just dead. I am still just dead. I should have attacked in case my opponent was dumb, but I messed up. Because I was just thinking of it, like, from an immediate perspective of, like, well, if I attack, they just go to 13 and it doesn't matter at all. But there's no reason not to do that attack, because giving them the attack gives them the potential to actually just let one of their creatures die. Alright, we're going to block there. We're going to Feral Invocation. Fight Boreal Elemental. Oh my god, Growth Cycle? Oh my god. That is one way to draw a card. That is one card to draw in that situation. Oh my goodness. This is savage. That is savage. That is the only way we could have survived. We go to 1 life. Oh. Oh, that feels bad. That feels bad. Alright, there's Octoprofit. Well, that was a cool way to die. Like, our deck did its absolute best. It was like, wait a second, we're just gonna lose to these bows and shit. Here's some stuff. Preemptive GG. The absolute disrespect. There is a card that returns every creature to its owner's hand, so I'm not dead on board, opponent. Or I'm not guaranteed dead. And now I'm guaranteed dead because I'm tapped out, but... Ooh, Agonizing Siphon. That is the fancy way to end it. Alright, 1 win, 1 loss. Should have died several turns ago, but we just like top decked Gargos into multiple pump spell. That was cool. That was cool. Gargos is ridiculous. That's what we've learned today. Alright, this Manifold Key sucks. I should probably swap that thing out. This is the problem with the Manifold Keys, that like when I get in these early game situations and then we end up in like a situation where I'm getting pressured pretty hard, the key just does nothing, and then it feels like I drew a hand with 1 less card than my opponent, which is pretty rough. Because the Manifold Key is only really good if we get to a board stall situation. If I'm ever in a situation where I'm getting pressured, the Manifold Key is pretty bad. So maybe I should just swap it out for like a Befuddle. Or something random. Right? Well, that spider's pretty much just gonna stop me now. Play Ferocious Pup. Don't have anything that'll get through the spider quite yet. Right Wood Tracker from our opponent, pretty nice. Right. And now they have a 2/4, so it doesn't even matter that I can Sleep Paralysis now. But now I have a flyer, so maybe we will just paralyze the spider. Be nice in a few turns. Yeah, I'm just gonna paralyze the spider and start casting all my flyers here. Unsummon on the Netcaster Spider. Well, that certainly works. Looks like this Manifold Key might actually get some usage here, because my opponent has a bunch of big booty on their board. Attacking with the Brightwood Tracker is very suspicious. They probably have a growth cycle. They're doing that. Because otherwise I just block with 2 2/2s and I trade a 2/2 for a 2/4. Well, looks like we're not Manifold Keying yet, because we did draw the mana to play Boreal Elemental. Next turn, if we don't draw land, we can play Metropolis Sprite and use the Manifold Key to get some damage in. And if we do draw land, we just drop down Vorse Claw, and then the plan is to Vorse Claw plus Manifold Key to victory. If our opponent allows us to do that. Let's see. Ooh! Alright, the fight is on. The plan is in motion. Not gonna attack here. It might actually be worth attacking with the Boreal Elemental, because the worst case scenario is Boreal Elemental trades with Netcaster Spider, which then clears the sky so that the Raptor can get in every turn. But I feel like I just want to make sure that I have just solid defenses to make sure that I just can swing in for Vorse Claw in 3 turns, and that'll definitely just be a lethal 3-turn clock if they don't get rid of it. Opponent's drawn a bunch of cards. Another Netcaster Spider. That definitely makes me happier that I didn't attack next turn, because then it would have been all for nothing. First save Vorse Claw. Cannot be blocked this turn. We're going to drop down a Metropolis Sprite. Hit him for 7. 3-turn clock begins. Am I going to win with a Manifold Key in the game where I talked shit on Manifold Key at the start of? That is possible. Oh, sleep paralysis? Alright. Well, the clock is a lot slower now, but it still exists. Thanks to the key. It's a 4-turn clock now. They don't really have a lot of pressure on me, so I'm actually just fine to just keep keying it up. Play a bunch of big dorks and block everything. Down to 8. We have a sleep paralysis backup in case they play something really scary. Ooh, there's a mountain. Here comes Omnath, and my day is ruined. We'll have to see. Chandra's Spitfire. Alright. They've got a lot of elementals and a lot of cards. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, there's. I just keep manifold keying. Down to 5. If I get a Feral Invocation, then it's just over. Worst Claw from our opponent. That will draw them 2 more cards with these Risen Reefs. Maximum Reef value. Oh, they're petting their cat. That's adorable. That is absolutely adorable. I feel kind of bad. Now they're just petting their cat like it's okay. It's gonna be okay. Wow. Am I the villain? It says the guy with the Nicol Bolas avatar. Alright, let's hit him for 3. 1 more turn to draw an answer. And actually, even if they draw an answer now, I can Sleep Paralysis, one of the creatures that can block flyers, and just send in with my 3 flyers. They'll have 2 blockers, they'll still be dead. They unsummon the Boreal after damage. Interesting. Why does the cat still think it's getting pet? Because they're doing other things. Alright, maybe the cat is just glitching, and I shouldn't feel bad. Oh, there it goes. The cat is chill. Oh, there it goes again. Oh wait, what am I talking about? I have Manifold Key. God, this whole time I'm getting so distracted by the cat that I forget that Manifold Key targets literally anything. So like, I have a million creatures with 2 power. I just gotta target one of them instead. I am sometimes quite dumb. Oh, is this the artwork where he's got 4 fingers? Yeah. That's so weird. Vedalkins have 4 fingers. Or whatever this guy is. Have 4 fingers. Alright, attacking with a 7/7, block with a 0/1. Seems like the play. My mind is everywhere. This is some ADHD shit right now. Is it ADD? Did they change the name? I don't remember. Alright. I want to poke for 2. Well. I suppose that is what I get for not targeting my 3 toughness creature. I guess I'll hit you next turn. Because I don't have the mana to... Oh my god, I do, because he taps for 2. Alright. Still could have killed them that turn had I cast Sleep Paralysis pre-combat with Leafkin Druid mana, and then saved up blue for the Metropolis sprites and just pumped them both. But you know what? We're not here to be good. We're here to get cards. Have fun. We have a Spectral Sailor now. Boreal Elemental, drawn 2 cards off the Risen Reefs. My opponent might just mill out. Or even kill them with this key if they keep getting removal. Opponent's thinking. Don't know what's going on. Looking at a lot of cards. They've got triple Hourglass at the ready if they want a timeout. Goblin Smuggler. Alright. Mildly scary. That would be really scary if they had a Lavakin Brawler out. Because they've got a few elementals, I would say. Uh-oh. Alright. This is the last hope from our opponent. Let's just make sure I survive, I suppose. Make some decent blocks. They have like an instant speed overcome or something like that. That could be pretty bad. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything like that in this format. I don't even block with this sprite. But I'm at 20. Like I'm taking way less than lethal with this block. fairly safe. They're thinking about here. Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, they don't have a shock on top of that, I don't think. Think we did it. Alright. That was terrifying. I thought that block was super safe, and then I went down to 2. Because Might of the Masses is a card, and they had some masses. They had a pretty massive board. Alright, see what our random card reward is. Of course, it's Renowned Weaponsmith. The bane of this format. Alright. Hop into another game here. 2 wins, 1 loss. Respectable start. Oh god, it's Mr. Torg. Borderlands 3 hype, everybody. Alright, this hand is garbage. This hand is super trash. Mulligan. This hand is fine. I will keep 6, toss a land on bottom. And just play my 2 drops. Evolving Wilds will start out for our opponent. Got a Gift of Paradise off the top. So our mana is pretty nice. Evolving Wilds is getting cracked, searching for a swamp. Looks like blue-black from our opponent, dropping down turn 2 Metropolis Sprite. Well, I might just copy that. Here's a Metropolis Sprite of my own. Alright, Swamp, Island, Forest. Sultai it is. I'm gonna go ahead and block this. Looks like they do not want to trade. And here comes Audacious Thief. Fortunately, since we went second, we don't have the mana for our removal for that Thief yet. We will next turn, so looks like they get to draw a card. Actually, I'm actually just gonna cast Season of Growth here. And save up the blue to trade for that Thief, because I don't want to let that thing just get a free attack in. See if they have some kind of pump spell. That'd be pretty bad. I gotta just go for it, though. Alright, we got the Thief out of there. 4th land for our opponent into a Thicket Crasher. 4/3 Trample. Looks like we draw a Feral Invocation. Definitely good with Season of the Growth, but not good with this hand. We've got a Sleep Paralysis we could just toss onto the Crasher right now, or we could just play a Gift of Paradise. I'm just going to play Gift of Paradise, and then I'll Sleep Paralysis on the next turn if I have to. Hopefully I won't. Vorst Claw or a Gargos off the top would be fantastic. However, they are playing black. They haven't played any removal yet. Here comes a Wolfkin Bond on that Thicket Crasher, so at the very least, we get to 2-for-1 them by Sleep Paralysising that. And drop down a Greenwood Sentinel. Scry 1, it's a forest, go to the bottom. Alright, this Metropolis Sprite. Gonna be a bit of a problem. I'm not gonna block this turn because I have Feral Invocation back up. So, I don't want to block until I can make my Greenwood Sentinel a 4/4, which can just block well, instead of just dying. Gnatcaster Spider comes out for our opponent. Island is not a fantastic draw. I'm just going to play Feral Invocation right now because I need to draw a card and see if I can cast anything else here. Forest. Forest is not great either. We'll go ahead and just send in the Sentinel. Poke him for 4. Looks like no removal just yet for our opponent. They're just going to keep getting in there with the Metropolis Sprite for now. Down to 9. Alright. Ferocious Pup, not the greatest draw. But I don't have a lot of fantastic draws right now, and this at least lets me scry to get towards my monsters. I can't really attack now, because if I attack with Greenwood Sentinel now, I'm just trading for a spider. They can block with a total of 4 power and 5 toughness. Alright, down to 7. There's Vorst Claw. Ooh, okay. I was gonna say, I am at 7 though. It's that flying, which is a problem. Now that I have Vorst Claw, it might be worth getting that spider out of the way, because I've got to go fast here. I'm going to 5 next turn. I still feel like I just don't attack. But yeah, now I have Frostlinks coming up to get that Metropolis Sprite off me for a turn. Uh-oh. They needed their blue mana for something else this turn. Risen Reef. Drawing a card. Fair enough. And a Silverback Shaman. Well, this is now just very, very bad. Now I don't even have good attacks with the Vorst Claw. Well, tap down the flyer, because I've got no answer. Manifold Key. Manifold Key is going to be too slow. Like, it gets in for 7 a turn, yes. But the Sprite untaps. I get in with Vorst Claw. God, they need 3 hits from Vorst Claw to die. That's just going to be too slow. I don't know what I'm digging for, but it's something that doesn't exist. That's the only thing that's for sure. I don't even feel like I can really attack with Vorst Claw anymore at this point. So if I attack with Vorst Claw and they just take it, they swing with everybody. See, I trade with the Shaman, go to 5, block a 2-2 and trade there, and block a 2-3. Still take 1 from there as well. God. I'm gonna attack with the Vorst Claw. Because I'm not gonna win if I don't ever put any pressure on them. So I need to clear out these creatures so that Greenwood Sentinel can actually get in there. And now he can if they didn't draw any more creatures, but it's pretty likely that they did. They've drawn a lot of cards through Risen Reef plus Silverback Shaman and all that. No creatures, alright. Greenwood Sentinel, get in there. Thornwood Falls will bring our opponent back up to 12. Metropolis Sprite hitting us for 2. We're at 4 life now. Rabid Bite. That is 100% awful. Feral Invocation. Alright, well, I need to draw a card. So let's just do that. Growth cycle? I need to draw a card, so let's just do that. Do that after I attack here, though. Please don't block. Like to get extra damage in. Nice. There's Gargos, but I think I drew him too late. Because now I don't think I have anything left in my deck that I can target him with. If I drew him before all those pump spells, this game would have been a lot different, but I've used all my pumps. Uh-oh. Opponent is paying a lot of mana for something. Agent of Treachery, steal one of my cards. Alright. That's a forest. Well, that is certainly game over, but at least we get to play the Gargos. Let's just say what up. Caster Spider. Well, Netcaster Spider, you're like 1,000 turns too late. That Metropolis sprite is, has already gotten all its damage in. Now we're at 3. We are just dead if they all attack. And they have all attacked. Sad day. I gotta kill my own Frostlings as well to stop maximum damage. We'll force them to pump the sprite. There they go. We take exact lethal. Alright, 2 wins and 2 losses. With green-blue stuff. Green-blue pile, shall call it. Alright. We're playing against Commander Beef. Ooh. This hand makes our deck look like it has real strategies. Because we have Season of Growth in the early game, and then we have Gargos in the late game, and that looks like, yeah, we're pump spells the deck. Which, you know, I tried, but we're not quite there. Alright, playing against another green-blue deck. They start off with a Cerulean Drake. Thankfully we don't have any red cards, so this card doesn't really do anything. It is a 1/1 flyer. But we're not going to be targeting them with any spells, so that's pretty much it. 2 mana 1/1 flyer. Alright. Would I rather scry 2 and have a 2/2 or draw a card and have a 2/1? I think I'd rather actually play the Ferocious Pup here, because a 2/2 can attack here, whereas a 2/1 flyer would just get blocked by the Drake. So it doesn't actually do anything on this board. So there's a forest. I do actually want that. I think I'll just make sure that I can play Gargos, so we'll just scry the forest to top twice. Winged Words. Opponent drawn 2 cards. No attacks. Interesting. Send in the 2/2. Taking it, and here is a 2/1 flying with First Strike. So that is actually important. Ooh, Vorst Claw? I'm gonna keep Vorst Claw on top, because we have 5 lands right now, and next turn we can play Cloudkin Seer and scry 1 and then draw a card, so pretty confident we can hit our 6th land soon, thanks to the Cloudkin Seer. And our opponent has their own Cloudkin Seer. I'm gonna trade with our wolf. Alright, scry 1. It's a land. We will draw it. And now Metropolis Sprite, scry our next card. It's an island, throw it on the bottom. Metropolis Sprite from our opponent, as well as a second Metropolis Sprite. The fairies are here. Alright, I'm just dropping Gargos. We're just doing it. He says hello. Oh, they just scoop. They read Gargos and they were like, that's some bullshit right there. And they were out of it. Alright. 3 wins. We did it. We got the average. 3 wins and 3 losses if I lose this game immediately, which is likely. But maybe we will proceed farther. Mayhaps I will win everything. I don't think it's super likely. This deck isn't very strong. I'd say like a third of the cards are actually like very nice draft cards. This is very much a mulligan. Oh god. I'm gonna keep this one because if we draw any land, we can play Raptor. Yeah, I'm gonna say after like the first half of the second pack, I feel like our deck looked like it was shaping up to be pretty nice, and then we just got hard cut for the entire rest of the draft. I don't think we saw anything that was really good for blue or green after that point. Well, I mean, we can play the Anvilrot Raptor now. We've got 4 islands. Opponent is on like 1/1's the deck, double Sedge Scorpion, double Cerulean Drake. Or not double, just a single Cerulean Drake. Anvilrot Raptor can block those Sedge Scorpions, thanks to First Strike. Here comes a Thicket Crasher. It's not a 1/1, so that changes things. 4/3 Trample and a Rabid Bite. Feels bad. Hey, it's our forest. Alright. Boreal Elemental is here. Like we just don't attack now, because like we're getting 1 damage in versus stopping potentially more. See if we can trade elementals here. Sick. Alright, and just a land from our opponent, so we will Gift of Paradise and Netcaster Spider. And now I can attack for 2 with the Sprite. Because now Netcaster Spider will block the Cerulean Drake, and I'm not going to block these Scorpions. Interesting, they may have some kind of pump spell here. Let's see what they got. Alright, no pump spell. Here comes Golos, Tireless Pilgrim, picking up a Cryptic Caves to draw a card. That. Alright. I'm gonna have to stop drawing lands if I want a chance of surviving a Golos. Which, you know, is not the worst kind of card they could have had. It could have been way worse. Like, it's just a 3/5, but even just a 3/5 is pretty threatening against what I currently have out. Frostlings, that's pretty bad. Oh, tap down the spider. Okay, that's not bad at all. The spider I already just probably wasn't going to use in the next couple turns anyway, because I wasn't just going to chump block with it for a while. So, that is fine. Alright, here's Ferocious Pup. Now I can... Now I can just trade a 2/2 with the Frostlings. I don't think I can, like, attack anymore. You know, I'm gonna attack one more turn here. Because I don't have enough power on blocks to kill Golos, and I don't think I want to block Golos until I do. So I think this turn I'm like just gonna block Frostlings and chump Golos, but then next turn I'll just save everyone back. Maybe. And I guess if I trade with Frostlings, I don't have enough power to kill Golos either. Pretty bad. But I think I gotta just kill that Frostlings. Kill something. Slow this down. Alright, there's Octoprophet. Try some cards. Probably just throw some lands on bottom. Oh, both on top. Well, that's bad. Here is a land. And I'm just going to die to a 3/5 today. Yeah, I just don't have good blocks. Like, now I can block the 3/3 with both of these and kill it, and then I take 5? It's pretty awful. I think it's where we're at. Alright, looks like they choose to kill the Netcaster Spider. Centaur Courser. Horse Claw. God dang it, Vorse Claw, you're like literally a turn too late. Like now they just attack with everybody and the Scorpions get in for 2. Sad day. Sad day. Right. Well, I feel like we needed some more chunkier later game stuff in that deck. I just didn't see a lot of it that I was really that excited about in those later packs. I don't even think there was a lot, period. Like Vorse Claw type stuff we could have picked up later on. Just what I was really hoping for. I was probably banking on that a little too much, to be honest. And the deck fell apart a little bit because of it, but it wasn't a total disaster. 3 wins and 3 losses is exact average. So, I will roll with that, and I have all of my gems. I can pick up that Mastery Pass and open a bunch X for my collection. So, in our prize pack, we get a Rotting Regisaur and an uncommon wild card. Very nice cards. Regisaur can be played in Jund Dinosaurs if you want to crazy, and the uncommon wild card can be played in anything because it's wild card, which is fantastic. So, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you all again some more Magic Arena next time.